Our rules are simple, but the challenge is great. All dinos will be explored in this challenge, but only reasonable underdogs voted on by the community will be considered for grading. Equipped with official server cap saddles, our 19 contenders will be backed by the commanding presence of a loyal Uranus providing that extra boost. All competitors will go into battle with food to provide a healing effect. Herbivores will have plenty of sweet veggie cakes, and carnivores and omnivores will have cooked meat. It's important to note that tames in this series aren't typically used during boss battles because of the amount of mutations you need to make them competitive. But all dinos competing will have around 23,000 health and 1200% melee. This will give them all a fair shot at defeating at least one of the guardians. It won't always be feasible to reach these stats depending on the dinos I'm using, but I'll let you know the amount of mutations and levels it took in order to reach it. All competitors start out with 50 base health and melee and 40 points in everything else before I apply mutations and experience levels. You can decide on your own servers if the juice is worth the squeeze. Competitors are required to fight the megapithecus, broodmother, then dragon on all difficulties starting with gamma, then beta, finishing with alpha. Their success will be annotated on this scorecard with a pass or fail system. Clearing all the bosses earns them a gold boom medal. Silver is awarded for clearing beta, bronze is for clearing gamma, and the chunk of shit is for an unworthy performance. Once all expansion creatures are finished, the gold medal winners will test their strength against the overseer for the finale. Now let's introduce our competitor and see if they have what it takes. Veilwyn. This little fox-like creature was released early for us to use before Lost Colony and gives us another companion creature to use besides the Armadoggo. The Veilwyn doesn't have the ability to equip armor, but it does have some rather unique abilities you can use while it is set to companion mode. We won't be using companion mode on these for the challenge, but that's okay because the abilities really only affect the player and not the entire army. The stats required for this competition were reached with a massive 60 mutations and 84 experience levels. 35 mutations at 54 levels went into health, and 25 mutations at 30 levels went into melee. Now let's see if they have what it takes. Green portal time means gamma time, and the Underfox is ready to teleport into battle against the Gamma Megapithecus. I didn't expect these guys to get very far considering they have no armor, but they just so happen to land their hits better than most creatures. Perhaps a sign that Garuka worked on the creature. Maybe. But it was pleasant to see them hit consistently. The ability for them to clone themselves is in companion mode only, and all they really do when they're not in companion mode is teleport on top of the creature they're fighting's face and continue to lay down some pain. It was clearly enough pain to take down the Gamma Megapithecus because he's such a chump. That's a pass. The Gamma Broodmother is up next, and the Underfoxes do a great job at blocking their movement. They're really low to the ground, and they normally wouldn't be able to do this, but I think that when they teleport, it produces some kind of a boundary box that prevents things from moving through it. And honestly, if this can be reproduced during the beta and alpha fights, then we just might have a shocking victory coming our way. The frost effect is applied to the bosses, and it shows both visually and with the frosting effect when you look at them with a modded spyglass. I think the effect is only visually though, because I didn't notice a change in any of their movement speeds. The Gamma Broodmother proves to be no match for the ferocious foxes, and she's taken down. That's another pass. The Gamma Dragon is up next, and the strategy here is what I normally do when the dragon doesn't aggro your fighters, and that is to take the first shot of flame with Commander Utes from the dragon and move your creatures in behind the dragon to surround his ankles. This prevents you from taking fire damage, which is the real thing that's going to kill you in this fight. It would normally work like a charm, but the Underfoxes keep teleporting in front of the dragon's danger hole. This causes them to catch on fire and get bit constantly, so it doesn't take long before they start dropping like flies. An unfortunate end to a potentially exciting matchup. That's a fail. Blue portal time means beta time, and the Frosty Foxes are ready to zip around and go ham on the Beta Megapithecus. They do a good job at blocking the Beta Monkey for the most part, but it's not really needed since Commander Utes can typically tank the shots from the Beta Monkey. I really was only worried that the fight would make it close to the cliff edge and they'd start teleporting off of it. The minions that are summoned in this fight do pose a threat far greater than they normally would because they're also aggroed onto Commander Utes, and I can't ride a Veilwyn if he dies. If Commander Utes does go down, then I'll go down shortly after unless I can somehow run around the arena dodging everything. Fortunately, Commander Utes survives the onslaught and the Beta Megapithecus is dropped. That's a pass. The Beta Broodmother is up next, and I felt like as long as I could block her, the Commander Utes can avoid the web attacks, and the Underfoxes could pull this one off with little issues. It's a delicate balance. You want the boss to be aggroed onto you, and you don't want to get hit. You also don't want to get so far away that she aggroes the foxes, because they won't last long with no armor. The Beta Broodmother hits really hard, and the Veilwyn won't be able to take it. I tried this fight 3 times, and every time the Broodmother was able to break free and stop me dead in my tracks. Once Commander Utes died, I was able to get away and lose aggro, but that meant she turned her attention to the Underfoxes. It was close. She got the better of the brave little critters. That's a fail. Red portal time means alpha time, and the Alpha Megapithecus is up next. The Alpha Megapithecus is usually pretty easy, but you can't take his shots with your Uranus under normal circumstances. I need to get him stuck on the Underfoxes and hope that I can fend off the minions long enough to put this one in the bag. The Alpha Megapithecus has a very high movement speed and completely outmaneuvers the Underfoxes, raining down blow after blow on Commander Utes. He unfortunately gets pummeled to death as I make my escape. My hope here is to dodge the minions while the Underfoxes finish off the Alpha Megapithecus. They get pretty close on this try, but the lack of armor is just too much, and they get turned into fox juice. That, sadly, is another fail. Heading over to the scoreboard, the Veilwyn earns a chunk of shit for not clearing the Gamma stage. The Veilwyn is a fantastic companion and is extremely easy to tame. If the opportunity presents itself, then you should absolutely get some, but plan on only using them in companion mode and not for boss fights. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing to help this community grow. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.